Let's fill you guys in. And then in the Mitzvah Shem, we get to the Sugya today, the last part at least of Shivrei Kalim. Let's see where we get to. But there's a lot here. You know, the notes are over here. Those are the notes I wrote. But then after Shabbos, there was like some stories that I have to tell you guys. So there was a fellow that came on Friday night. What was his Shiloh? His Shiloh came frantically knocking on the door, but like right away, you know. Yes, it's usually, who knows what it is, usually when someone knocks on your door right away, the second that Shabbos hits, you know, I'm already walking up from shul and he's already, I came in, I say good Shabbos, 2 seconds later, I say somebody's at the door. What's usually the Shiloh? What? It's a weird echo. That's usually not the Shiloh. What can we do about the weird echo? Is Mamish a weird echo? It's a weird echo. That's not the Shiloh, but huh? Now it's a weird echo. These things take time to get used to them. That's how it is. Now, how's the weird echo now? Now it does think weird echo, weird. He's being weird. Oh, keep going. I'll just give the shir, and as I'm giving the shir, they'll try and figure out that it gets good. Okay, good. So what's usually the Shiloh on a Friday night, 2 seconds after Shabbos? What? A challenge, right? Always, you know, I'm all excited. Okay, it's going to be a challenge, Shiloh. You know, I'm already looking in the back. Do we have enough challenge to give out or whatever? Right? It's you know, what else could it be? Right? What else? Candles. It could be like candles. Like, you know, it could be the lights went out. It could be that also. No. It could be somebody had an answer to one of those shilas that I said in the shul, right? It could be. Yeah. What? Yeah. Krakpa, chalent is all the same. Don't start with me, Rabbi Fulda. It's all the same. You know what his shilah was? His shilah was the most unique shilah I ever got on a Friday night. That close to the Shabbos. Yeah. Rabbi says it's a weird echo over there. It's a weird echo. Anyways, so what was his shilah? His shilah was he smokes every Erev Shabbos. He has a cigarette, this fellow, okay? He has a cigarette. You know, I got the whole lowdown of his schedule on Erev Shabbos. He has a cigarette or whatever, but his wife doesn't know that he smokes. His wife doesn't know he smokes. I don't believe it's just Erev Shabbos, but his wife doesn't know that he smokes. So what he does is usually he takes a cigarette. It's usually in the bathroom. And then this is what he tells me. What do you want from me? Then afterward, he takes his shower. And then afterward, he takes his cigarette and he hides his cigarettes. That's what he does. He comes, he tells me he forgot to hide the cigarettes. He forgot to hide the cigarettes. He's the cigarettes he has, like, you know, let's say behind the toilet is like a thing over there, and he just put it there. He says he comes home, he came home from shul, he went into the bathroom, he goes into oh my goodness, there's the cigarettes. Not such a pretty figurine. He doesn't know what to do. He tells her she goes into the bathroom and sees the cigarettes, it's over. He's in big trouble. Busted. You're gonna be busted. In Hebrew, he doesn't say busted. He said some other word, but it's he's gonna be busted. It's over. It's over. So mamish over. What do you do? So he wants to know, is he allowed to move the cigarettes? I told him, look, you know what? It's a mamish big shaila. Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, I'll talk to the oilam about it. He says, no, we need to know the answer now. We need the answer now. No, so I started thinking what to say. So, you know, the first thing I said to him, look, it's a shaila. You can move it with a shinoi anyways, right? You know, a shinoi, we know, you don't know anything yet, but you know a shinoi works. He told me it's not going to go because it's like high up. The way he described it to me was like let's say this high or something like that. But yeah, he's not so acrobatic that he can get a foot up there and whatever. And to move it with an elbow, he won't be able to get in there. He said the only way is to actually move this. Is the only way. Is he allowed to move a cigarette? So first we have to don a shia kli shemlach li iser, and then after we have to don, is it a kli shemlach li iser? B'makim tzarich shalom bayis. I know what it is. B'makim tzarich mekoymai, tzarich divorce. I don't know what you want to call it. Tzarich something, right? So what do you guys say? So first, what? Kikar tinok. Okay, so yeah, it's true. There is such a heter. It's true. There is a heter of kikar tinok for a mace, and and there's a picture of a dead guy on the cigarette box. Right? And the Mishabura does bring that there is a tzad by kli shemlach li iser b'makim hefsid. It's true. There is a tzad. Well, no, it sounds like it's, yeah. So it's such a geshmak shaila. I asked him if he can come in for show and tell. You know, it's like geshmak shaila. He told me by the time he goes home, it might be too late. He doesn't know. Maybe she'll have gone into the bathroom, right? Where are you going? Ooh, it's a big shaila. That's what he told me. He's in my shul, on the shul on Friday night. I said all these different shailas. You were there, right? So I said all these shailas, right? So he told his wife, Mama, you see how you start lying to your wife, you'll never say the word emes. He told his wife, oh, he has the Rav asked shailas, and he just knows an answer to one of them. And he told him, and I said, whoever gets the answer gets a donut, right? So he told his wife he has to go there and he gets a donut or whatever. You liar. What was the name of that liar? Pinocchio, I think. No, the Medrash with Pinocchio, right? Yeah. Anyways, so what do you say? It's too low, no? Now it's good? Too low, I think. Oh, it's too low. Don't worry about his echo. It's good for him to get his ear, the echo. So the first thing you have to done is, what's the din of a cigarette? What's the din of a cigarette? No, what's it does? Das ist a klishim lachtali yisr, das is a mukse machmas gufay. So that's why I started thinking, as he's by, and you have to think fast, because his wife is going to go into the bathroom maybe, right? So you have to mamish think. I felt like a 15-year-old, and my parents are about to find out. Mamish unbelievable. Mamish like unbelievable. Me, there's no games. With me, I told my wife on the second date, I smoke. You have a problem with that? Don't marry me. Right? Don't marry me. She doesn't have a problem with that. I took out a cigarette. I offered her one. Right? She says no. Okay, if she would have taken one, right, I for sure would have married her. But then I had to stop because I had brains. It's not healthy to smoke, and then you get sick. But then when you're young, you don't have brains. That's how it is. But then I had to stop, and now because of that, I have to use a microphone. Right? That's how it goes. Okay. But anyways, so this poor guy, his wife is about to find out. He's about to get bust. So first of all, what is a cigarette? Is das a klishim malachta le'isser? Is das a mukse machmas gufay? Mukse shel gufa. Mukse machmas gufay. What's it does? So I would have thought it's totally in what we spoke about. Right? This is working. She's good, yeah. Well, it's problematic. It's not. No, it seems to be working, right? A little bit louder. Don't worry about him. He's a troublemaker. Don't worry about him. I'm not talking about you, Nasi. I'm talking about somebody else. So I would have thought. Let's see. We said the other day, what is something that's muktzah machmas gufa? We saw different ways to be kaveh if something is a muktzah machmas gufa. One way to be kaveh of a muktzah machmas gufa, we saw, is if Lamashal, it's fashioned into a kli. What's a cigarette? Is a cigarette fashioned into a kli? Is the whole entire stamshas of a cigarette just to use it up? So I know a ma'aseh with Rabbi Bear. Rabbi Bear's father told him he has to smoke because there are certain svaras that you can't get without a cigarette. So I told him he has to smoke. Chaim told him that he can't smoke. Smoking is dangerous. Chaim knew this already before surgeons and generals and all these things. Chaim told him, smoking is dangerous, you can't smoke. So he told them, what do I do? The Rebbe's up 9, right? What should you do? Right? So the whole shtickle Torah, Chaim said to him, yeah, but the Rebbe brings you to this world and to the next world. Your father's trying, he only brought you into this world and he's trying to take you out of this world by telling you this. It was ganze Meise. So what did Rabbi Bear do? So Rabbi Bear used to sit with the cigarette, he used to sit like this with the lit cigarette, and he wouldn't smoke it. Chaim didn't tell him there's a problem with secondhand smoke, but he used to sit there with the cigarette, and he used to not. Now everyone knows that whoever smokes, that part of the lumdus of a cigarette is when you hold the cigarette. That's also part of the lumdus. Right? That's also part. Whoever uses these e-cigarette, they don't understand it so much. But in the olden days, when you used to have to actually be moiser nefesh and whatever, so you'd sit there like this, and part of the way that you get the svara is when it sits there and you just sit there with the cigarette. So to be Mekayim the Devarim of Reb Chaim, he wouldn't smoke it. But to be Mekayim's father, so he would sit there and hold the cigarette. But what do you see from that story? You see that this Sidot Taka Epis in just holding the cigarette is a shtamshis in holding the cigarette. So maybe that's enough to make it to Bashaftas for Kli. Maybe that, who says yes, who likes that svar? Again, whoever doesn't smoke can't talk now, right? But if you did smoke, then you could talk. Who likes that svar? Who doesn't like that svar? Okay, maybe. Then there's another svar over here, is that a cigarette is something which is fashioned. Remember we spoke, the etzim zach, that you are fashioned into a kli. Maybe a cigarette is azayvi, like a wax candle. What's a lumdus wax candle? We saw different svaras. One svar, we said that a wax candle is a klishim malachta li'isr. It's not a muksa machmas gufa. It's a klishim malachta li'isr. What were the svaras we said? One of the svaras is that they fashion it. It gets fashioned. What does it mean? It gets fashioned. It means that they have to make it, and they make it into a kli. It's a pipe. What is a cigarette? A cigarette is a pipe that houses the tobacco. So part of its function is to use up the tobacco, and part of its function is to serve as a pipe. So they made a pipe. So if they made a pipe, even though it's a pipe that will get used up, right? Make it even worse. Sometimes people, they could reuse the cigarette. I mask it. That's very kaiky. it is a zach that a person he'll take a bite and he'll put it out. He'll take it later. I mask him, not for incident. But it's possible. I'm just showing you it's possible, right? Once it's possible, it shows you that this thing is, So I don't know. Is it mitzad sheni? Is it like a match? It's definitely at least a match. We saw Shlomo Zalman by a match wanted to be makel because you have to fashion it in order to do. It's at least like a match. We saw that type of a svara. And is it like a bekas? That a bekas just gets burnt? Over here, it does something. It's a pipe. It's a pipe. A cigarette is a pipe that you put the tobacco in. So for all intents and purposes, I would have thought that it's as much as a kli as a wax candle. Again, I look in some svarim on their muksa charts, and they considered it to be a muksa machmas gufay. But I would have thought that a cigarette, there'd be a makom to say that she's a kli shemlach the isser. That's what I would have thought. Sorry? Come again? Which in essence, then it would be a category 2 muksa. Category 2 muksa would be kli shemlach the isser, which is mutal tzar gufay. Tzar gufay. Save his guf. Right? Tzar gufay and the tzar chamakom. Okay, so now we have to down the second shaila. This is the hardest shaila by me. I mean, the first shaila is a little bit less creativity. The first shaila is a very simple shaila. It was fashioned. It's a pipe. It's not just being used up. That's what I would think. Does anybody disagree? You should know also is that I wanted to be makel. So the svara was based on it's not muchach. I was right. Maybe I was doing it because I was trying to help a yid. Sorry. No. He was talking about the box. No, the way you do what the extra bit is you throw it into the toilet. He was talking about the box. There was a box of cigarettes there, which was ruining the bathroom, which was ruining his life, which was ruining his marriage, right? So the Maisa, we know that Rav Falk, Zechron Levracha, Rav Falk would have told him, it's a little unfair, Rav Falk, because Rav Falk would have told him to be makel. Why? Rav Falk would have told him, mitzad category 2, so Rav Falk would have told him that category 2 is a shaila. I saw somebody maybe behind me told me, I think, somebody told me that he also agreed somewhat with us. He said maybe it should be machmer lechatchila on this category 2 muksa, but that wouldn't bother. But mitzad sheni, maybe it's only mutter tzarech gufay mekoymay. Rav Falk said not like that. He said tzarech, any tzarech which is not a weekday tzarech is already mutter. In other words, any not after Shabbos tzarech. If it's for after Shabbos tzarech, that's a problem. If it's for Shabbos, even if it's not a gufay or mekoymay per se. So then Rafal wanted to say, no, but Kai Governor, why is he moving the cigarette? He's moving the cigarette because it's going to cause tremendous agmas nefesh here. It's going to cause a fight, maybe. It's going to, it's certainly ruining the, it's certainly ruining the Shabbos. It's ruining the Shabbos. So you ask him, why is he moving the cigarette? He's moving the cigarette because it's klishmak v'liyaser, it's tzarich Shabbos. Rafal would have told him he could be Mako. And the Maisa, with that, I ended the Shaila because Rafal is Adam Gadol, you could be Seimchan, B'Shas Atzchak. Maisa, I don't agree with Rafal. I mean, we saw, I don't agree. If I felt Adam Gadol, so I'm able to say it to save somebody's life. But I had other cheshbainis that anyways I would be made. And that's enough for me in such a case. Shatz Atzchak, it could be Seimchan, Adam Gadol. It's not, okay. But the Maisa, I don't know, let's say now halacha l'maisa. Halacha l'maisa. That was l'maisa. Now let's say halacha l'maisa. What's halacha l'maisa? What do you say? Halacha l'maisa. Let's see different svaras. Can we be made? Is this called the tzarech hamakim? The makim is being ruined. Shver maisa. Shver svaras. To say that the makim is being ruined. What the makim is being ruined. The bathroom is not being ruined. It's going to cause a fight. This cigarette is going to cause a fight. To say that's the tzarech mekayma, you have to be extremely creative and borderline strange to say such a svara. Not borderline, strange borderline. But that's, so I don't know, that won't go. What else? I was thinking, maybe we didn't learn yet the sugi of Graf Sharei. We didn't yet learn the sugi of Graf Sharei. But, the sugi of Graf Sharei, there is going to be a makim for creativity in the sugi. She's not working again? No, she is. Why don't I hear it though? What? Oh, I have to go like this? No? It is going back. But then when I hit it, it does go. Now it's not going. It's weird. It doesn't like it only likes when I hit it. It's like Moshe Rabbeinu in the cellar, Talk to it if you talk to it. Okay. I say, what? Maybe it's the battery. No, but it's green. She's green. It doesn't matter. I have batteries. So wait, so Rabbi Yisai, so Makim, I don't hear it. I don't hear it. But But no, Rabbi Lang Mokim, Shvachamais. No. Very good. I mean, red maybe makes it work. Red means it works. Usually green means it works. No?
Those were new batteries? Those were new batteries?
I don't know, but it is working. No. No, you're right. Maybe those aren't new batteries. This is very strange. But at least we know those are green, so those are for sure good batteries, right? Maybe green's bad. Okay. Okay, so no, it really works now. It's a strange thing. Okay. Unbelievable, no? Okay, so now it's Isaiah Rabbi Isai. So I don't know. I was thinking maybe it's a Graf Shel Rei. We didn't learn yet the sugya of Graf Shel Rei, but in the sugya of Graf Shel Rei, you do see such a thing. That Graf Shel Rei, there is a svar that's going to be thrown around in the Paiskim, that Graf Shel Rei doesn't necessarily mean something that is ekeldik in as much as it's mahus mias. We're going to see Graf Shel Rei is a sugya where there's going to be a machlekes if a Graf Shel Rei is something that we look at mitzad the chefza. I don't want to say subjective, objective until we get to the sugya, but it could be that it's totally in the mensch, the gavra, I guess. The gavra is something that it shares the gavra, that itself might be a Graf Shel Rei. Or no, it has to be in the chefza that everybody's gestert. Obviously over here it's not in the chefza, not everybody's gestert, right, except for his wife. But it's certainly in the gavra. It's definitely causing the gavra a tremendous amount of grief and agmas nefesh, right? But I don't know if that's going to be a Graf Shel Rei. I'm not sure. It's not that it is causing, I think it's a big, big leap. We're going to learn Graf Shel Rei. Graf Shel Rei is going to be like you're not going to be happy that there's like wrappers on the table and things like that. There's where the poskim are going to be a little bit more liberal, a little bit more bright, and open up the door to say, well, it's horrible. It's this, because that dover bothers you, mitzad my horse. Here, it doesn't bother me, mitzad my horse. It's the mitzias of this is going to cause a fight. You understand? It's not that this thing, it's mitzias of being here is a shter mitzad that it's dirty. It's not that nobody's going to say that it's dirty and it's a mess. It's fakert. It's mitzias is being here is going to cause problems. I never saw such a thing in Graf Shel Rei, right? So without Rafal, I don't really see an eitzah. I don't see an eitzah to be mekel. Gada, I told him maybe there's a shtickle of harama eitzah. I told him because maybe there's a tzad that it is a muksa machmas gufa and whatever. So I told him if he's able to do tiltum and tzad and then use that makim, which is a rama, it's a rama, but maybe it's a rama. If he's able to take let's say take I don't know what's in the bathroom over there, where they take like a plunger stick or something, and take the stick and knock it out, move it over, tiltum and tzad, let's sarich the makim, and now use the makim and put something there. If you go and put something over there, so then once it's on the floor, just like kick it out or whatever, or something like that. The PS, he was probably doing this. His wife came in and kicked it out right to his wife, But Akapanim said that's his number one, a cigarette. Number two, sorry. No, but it's using the cigarette with your that you're right, but the box to take the whole entire box and put it into your mouth, sorry. To take the cigarette and put it into your mouth, take it with your mouth. It's not shinoi. Yeah, we'll learn shinoi. It's an interesting shayla. Now, I was thinking another shayla. There was a 10 shekel coin, a 5 shekel coin on my table. 5 shekel, not the biggest deal in the world. There was a 5 shekel coin. What's a 5 shekel coin? Muksa machmas gufa, right? I was thinking, should I say chiddush? I cannot never say chidushim. Should I say chiddush? Or what do you think? I cannot don't say chidushim, but I was thinking that maybe a 5 shekel coin, and then I was thinking maybe it's not just 5 shekel coin. But I was thinking maybe why is she muksa? I started looking at her and thinking why is she evil muksa? Why is she muksa machmas gufa? I started looking at her. Maybe she's a muksa klitch machmal yeser. Why? A 5 shekel coin. What did I say? The reason why money was muksa the other day? Because money doesn't have a shimush. Remember that whole raid we spoke about. Money is shimush. Money is a chefza it's a barter system. You give me this, I give you that, but it stands for something. It's not more than that. It's not a shimush. Then I realized, is that true? Yeah. Oh, that's what I was thinking. In Nagala, when you take the 5 shekel coin, when you put a 5 shekel coin, you put it into the wagon, the vegala. You put it in, and then because of that, you get the wagon. And you get to put the money in. It's a shimush. It's a very normal shimush. And then I started realizing afterward, wait a minute, all coins, they have a shimush. It's interesting. When I take a 5 shekel coin, and I remember when one of my children had to go to the hospital once. It was like, you got a finger caught in the door. It was a whole story. And I remember that he was really, really crying. And we were but there was a Coke machine there in Hadassah Hospital, right? And it's a very interesting Coke machine. It has like an arm, and it takes the Coke like this. Whoever sees it, no, I'm talking, it takes like this and like this and like this. So I took, come here, right? And I take him, when I realized that they take Arabs in the hospital first, so I knew it was going to be time. So I take him, come, watch. I take the 5 shekel, let's get you Coke, Tati juice, it makes Tati big and strong. So I take the 5 shekel coin, I put it in, and he's watching the arm take nemtzach. It takes like about 10 seconds, right? I bought 40 Cokes, right? 40 Cokes. This is more Coke. I came up with more Coke than the Coke man. And the mamish, and then it hit me, Taka, what's a Coke? What's a 5 shekel can? How does it work? How does it work that the money goes in, and because there's like a certain weight that the coin it goes into and fits in a certain place, and it's a shimush. It's also a shimush. You put the coin there, the coin has a certain weight, and the coin has a certain feel, and whatever. Now, I'm not going to say it on a 20 shekel bill or a bill, because the bill, it's the machine takes a picture of it or something. I don't know what. How does it work with the machine? I always thought it was like a weight. In the olden days, it was like that. I don't know today. It's a different world, but what? It's all computerized? Yeah. At least a 5 shekel coin has a very functioning use, right? But so if they're just taking a picture of it, so then I hear it's just taking a picture. Now you gave me the money, I give you the product. So then I hear, but it's not like it's not a shimush, it's not a usage. Until now, I thought it was it gets weighed down, kivyachol, and that's a shimush of a kli. And if you give us this kli, then we're going to do it. But the kli has to go and kivyachol press the right buttons.
It's like a token.
What? A token, sort of. Same idea. A token. How does it work with a token? When you put the token in, what? It's computerized, probably, right? I don't know. But I don't know. Anybody know? Sorry? No, but so now it's not just the barter. For example, my example with the 5 shekel coin in the vegala, the wagon, that for sure I'm right. That's mamish shimush. I started thinking a 5 shekel coin in Eretz Yisrael might be a kli shemach al yeser. It might not be a moksamach miskufay. Might not. I don't know. It has a real shimush. No, it's interesting shaila. It's a very interesting Shabbos. That's number 2. Number 3. Sorry. Yeah. How's that work? Yeah. How's that work?
Exact size. I don't know if exact size. It has to fit in.
So there, that might be, because that might be different. Since it has to fit in, it's the barter. Maybe no, but see, that kli, it's a kli maybe. I was always learning. I never played with these things. How do they work? I was always giving chizik that people were bittul toira. What do? You put the coin in and what? Help me out, Morty. How does it work? Your kids, yeah. And it goes into, yeah. But you put it in and it's a shima, it's a kli. It is a kli. Is that a kli? Why is that not a kli? Why is that not a kli? It's with this kli, it turns on the machine. It's true. The reason they use this kli, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're that person that, you mamish, you beat the system and you built something that has it would work, right? Fake duds. Oh, mamish, you beat the system. You have a thing that you put it in and then you can get the what's it called? What? Let's see, it's like a kli. It could be used as a kli. I wonder out loud if this is a real scar or not. No, it's a good no? I don't think Chiddushim. That's number 2. Number 3 is a shai like this. Under the sink by me, there was so somebody put away all the what's it called, all the groceries, and we couldn't find where were the tissues. Where were the tissues? No, it's okay. The tissues is a very important thing, especially today in the world. So, and then we realized there's tissues, there's a fire extinguisher. So Canary, somebody was cleaning out and they got all the way in the back and in front was a fire extinguisher. There's a fire extinguisher. Under the sink, the fire extinguisher. What's a fire extinguisher? What's a fire extinguisher? What is a fire extinguisher? Is it a kli shemach al yeser? Or, so, I'm minut. We have to say what the shaila is. 1 minute. Is it a kli shemlachli? Obviously, its ikar function is to put out fires, which is also. Now you're going to say if there's a fire, so then it's a pekuach nefesh, but it doesn't work like that, right? I mean, first of all, not every fire is a pekuach nefesh. That's first of all, and second of all, there's going to be a heter to possibly use it, but that doesn't make it into a kli shemlachli. That's pasha. So the best case scenario is that a fire extinguisher could be a kli whose function is to do an isser, which is to put out a fire. My shaila is that let's backtrack a step. It's something that we started talking about, we just never came back to. A pen, she's a kli shemlachta li isser, right? A pen, we always spoke, a kli shemlachta li isser, that's according to everybody. It's nothing to do with category 2. It's something that does an isser, right? You do an isser with a pen. A bowl of ink, a bottle of ink, that's a muktzah machmas gufa. It's just a non-chefza that gets used up. And that's a muktzah machmas gufa. You can't move it. Now let's start gufa. Now let's start makar. Okay. That's a bottle of ink. And so what's a chilek sufficient? A pen and a bottle of ink. Why is a pen a kli shemlachli yeser? And why is a bottle of ink a muktzah machmas gufa? What's the answer? What's the answer? No shaykhis. What's the shaykhis? Here's a kli. You write with this kli. You do an isser with the kli. It gets used up. Okay, but that's bottled to the function of being a pen. Kivyachol. I guess that's the juice of the pen. That's the blood of the pen. So the mela, it gets this bottle to the heft of the pen. Something like that. Something. So now let's go weiter. A toothpaste zacher, something that has toothpaste in it. What's a toothpaste zacher? Is that a muktzah machmas gufa or kli shemlachli yeser? Why don't you say, look, it's a kli that what's the difference between a pen and a tooth? What's a toothpaste zacher? A tube of toothpaste, right? A tube of toothpaste. What's it does? Does it a kli? Well, or also, do you see it's a bottle of ink, or do you say she's a pen? Just like a pen writes. So here, this kli squirts out the two ways. You could squirt out the ink, that's one way, or you could. So the answer is no, not. Why? Because anything that I say, squirting out is just a removal of the item, and the ikar is the item, and the item is the toothpaste. The paste is taka a muktzah machmas gufa. And the holder is just a bus is to a muktzah machmas gufa. Okay, now but there's a lot in between. Okay, those are the ones that we'll agree to. Okay, you have. And then I started thinking, sometimes you have like these thick shampoos or thick soaps, which are muktzah machmas gufa. You can't use them on Shabbos, but it's a refill. You put it in like a nice fancy dispenser. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it can be reusable, right? So you have a reusable dispenser, and now what's it holding? It's holding the muktzah machmas gufa. So where do you put her? Is she toothpaste or is she a pen? Who says pen? Who says toothpaste? What's up, shot? Why would it be toothpaste? Even though it's a reusable zach. So it's, this is, why don't I say she's a pen? So again, you say no, because that's just the removal of the item. When it's just a heicha timtza to be removing, to not remove, to push it, to get out the item, to take out the item. Then I guess it's more mesiaches, as, how do I say this? It's, who wants to say it for me?
Item, not using it through it.
It's a holder of the item, but Maisa, there's a dispenser.
So the action of using it has nothing to do with holding it.
The action of using is a removal process.
When you use it,
yeah,
there's nothing to do with the holder.
As opposed to?
A pen, when you use it, you're holding it.
Oh, my using is, okay, but then why, so fine, but B'shas Maisa, why don't I say, because it's gespalt, it's split off. When I have a toothpaste, let's say I have a toothpaste dispenser, okay, whatever. I squirt out the toothpaste with a thing, right? So pshat is that here it's all echatimtza to get the davar, which is kulei moksa, and then I do my job with the moksa. When it comes to a pen, you're going to do a maisa with the pen, and the maisa of writing is with the pen. So that's so now let's talk about a fire extinguisher. So where do you put her? Where do you put a fire extinguisher? First of all, I don't even know the answer to this. Is a fire extinguisher, is it refillable? It's refillable, right? Okay, so it's refillable.
After a certain amount of time, it's just
I'm saying, but it could be refilled. Once you use one, you don't buy a new one, you just refill it or something like that. So what is she? Is that a pen? Is that a pen? That's interesting, Shai, no? Interesting, Shai, meaning there, the usage, that's the way Rabbi Rosenberg is telling us. He says, when you use a pen, when you use a fire extinguisher, that's what you're doing. You're using the kli. So this is just the lave of the kli. It's the blood of the kli. It's like a pen, right? I'm not 100% convinced. It's foam and whipped cream and things like that. What? That's what it is. What? No, it's not just water. It's like whipped cream and zafin. It's like very serious stuff.
Some of them are just
What?
water. Some of them is just water. Some of them are powder.
It's interesting. The water ones is like America's the water ones.
Some water and some green powder. No water. White powder. Water's not.
It's some kind of chemical. I don't think it's water, anyways. It can't be water because it's for electric fires too. And that if you would put water on electric fire, then the fire just starts laughing at you, right? No, I don't think. What? Really? Seder, like in the Gateshead fire department. He's right. In Gateshead, they have water. Shkach. Right? Yeah. So I don't know. Is it a chesaron kiss? It's something I keep it in a place. I was thinking that also. I keep it in a place. My house is not. My house it has a place. It never moves until she moved it. Whoever moved it and put it inside the. But it is there. It's always there under the sink. I never use it for. I never use it. Just a minute. I never use it for anything else. Let's see. It's a kli that I never use for anything else. That I'm not going to use for anything else. Right? I am makbid, right? I am makbid not to use for anything else because I want to have it. And I don't want it to be damaged or whatever. It's interesting. I was thinking that also. Maybe that's what you're asking, right? What? I was also wondering, maybe she's like a chesron kiss. I was thinking this also. Right? In the meantime, somebody needed the tissues, So what do we do? What? No, I don't think so. There's other things. I have the other things in my house to scare the kids with. I don't need that. What? Sorry? No. I don't know. I'm like the leader of the NRA right now, but I still don't. Whether I agree or don't agree is irrelevant right now. But no, it's there for a reason. No, it doesn't. No. What does the article say? That's not true. No, it's true. He says it. That's a Taisan halacha. That's for sure not true. That's for sure not true. But you should know. I go back and forth where to put the fire extinguisher. The whole Shabbos I went back and forth where to put the fire extinguisher. First of all, I'm a little bit nervous that she's a chesron kiss. Second of all, I'm even more nervous. I'm even less nervous, but I'm also nervous that maybe it's just a removal of the zach, and since it's refillable. I'm noted a little bit more that it's a kli. The fact that it's refillable shows you maybe more that it is a kli, that you're using the kli, and that this is kivyachol fakir. She's bottled to the kli, and not that the kli is bottled to her. Not that the kli is bottled to all that foam and whipped cream and all that good tzachen. You understand? That's what I'm noted like that. But then again, I have Rabbi Siegel's problem. That becomes the Iker problem. Rabbi Siegel's problem, just a moment. Rabbi Siegel's problem that maybe she's a chesron kiss. That's even more. That's even more. Unless he said, I was trying the whole time to figure out, am I makbid not to use it for anything, or just, I don't need to use it for anything else. What else could I possibly use it for? And I was thinking, I don't really want to use this thing as a door stopper. I wouldn't take it out. But then I was thinking, what's the reason? Is it because it's heavy, or is it? I don't want this thing around. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want somebody taking out the thing and using it up. So that's a kpeda. I'm pretty nervous that it is a chesron kiss. I must admit, I am nervous a little bit that it's a chesron kiss. I must tell you, but it's does anybody? What does the article say about that? No, I don't know. Okay, let me gain fight. Okay, let's start the shir. Wait a second, we didn't even start the shir yet. What? You don't want? No, but that's all you say. There, the pshat is that here for its usage, I can't use it on Shabbos. For anything else, I am makbid not to use it because I don't want something happening to it. I was trying to think, why do I not want to take the fire extinguisher and open the door with it? And I was thinking, not just because it's heavy, whatever. It's not just because it's heavy. It's more than that. It's that you're afraid that that little thing that looks like dynamite or something, that thing that's going to be pulled out or whatever. You don't want that thing pulled out. You don't want that. You don't want it. You don't want it. You don't want it being monkeyed with. So there seems to be some kind of a kpeda here. I'm not sure if you're right. I think there's a kpeda here to not use it for anything else, and for itself I can't use it. I'm pretty sure that is correct. That's what I think. I'm not 100% sure. But so what? It doesn't matter if oivei. The fact that I don't oivei, I don't even know if you're right. I would get nervous. He says, if it falls on the floor, so you're not going to have the same reaction that you have when your mila knife or shechita knife falls on the floor. First of all, I know how to, to take a shechita knife and kasher it. So Mela, I don't do that even if a shechita knife, I would just take my, my rocks and I would be able to kasher my shechita. I'm saying not me, I don't know anything. I'm saying, but the guys who are the shaykhim, they would know how to do it and life would go on, right? I'm not saying this when it falls on the floor, I think I go, oh no, did it come out? Is it you get nervous, it would, the gas is coming out, the whipped cream is coming out, or who knows what else is in there, right? So I don't know, I'm noita that she's a chesken kiss, let's start the shir. Oh, you don't even know, I didn't even get to the good stuff yet, what? Whipped cream is mutter on Shabbos. Oh, that's a problem. Noilad. Say that. That's an issur of noilad on Shabbos. You're not allowed to use whipped cream on Shabbos because there's an issur of noilad. Okay, do it. Like I say for Orchel Shabbos, I don't know why. It could be just doesn't know how whipped cream works. So inside it's a liquid. What?
There's one that's already on the can, and there's one that you actually make both bread, but then you.
No, it can't be made. It's a liquid inside, and it comes out of side. About it's noilad. No. Mam's not. No. What? So he's asking maybe now that whipped cream is also to make on Shabbos, so maybe a whipped cream bottle is a muktzah machlas gufa because it's just like, flour and whatever. Yeah, it's interesting shayla. Echanami, maybe. Okay, let's start this yet. We didn't even start yet. You don't even know what went on in the Kallus house on Shabbos. You guys don't even know. You don't even know, right? Do you know? No. Right? Should I tell you? Okay, so we had a big event. There's a big event. What happened is that one of the little girls, she threw out her tights. Now, if you know from little girls, the first day from who understands from little girls over here, I shouldn't answer that. But whoever understands from little girls knows that tights is a very big issue. Very big issue. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? You remember your youngest sister? Tights is a very, very big issue. Okay? Very big issue. I don't want to go into it, and it's a very big issue. So one of the little girls threw out the tights. Now, to wear tights that don't match your dress, it's like wearing, I had to explain this to people, but it's like wearing, a tie that doesn't match. It's like wearing a spodek. It's like no shaykhs, right? And it's, we don't have geras yet, right? Not yet. Okay, soon. There's one coming. Bookie's coming back. Okay. So kapanim. So tights is a very big issue. Very big issue. So she threw out the tights. So we're looking around. And now why did the little youngster, why did she throw out the tights? She threw out the tights because there was a hole. Again, whoever knows from little girls' tights knows that, it's a holy matzah. There's lots of holes, and in Yerushalayim Yer Kodesh, right? There's more fingerlach showing through the tights than from the hantelach. That's how as I get us. Okay, so it's a matter of at what point do you throw out the tights, and at what point do you keep the tights. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. If you go right now. Don't do this because the koyel can get arrested. But if you go right now into the park over there and you tell, hey, come here, you take off her shoe and you look, you're going to see toes. You're going to see toes. That's how it goes. Depends. I'm not saying how many toes you're going to see. I'm not saying. I'm not saying you should do it. Okay? What's my point in all this? So now it came out that the clothing that this young lady was getting dressed by herself on Erev Shabbos, and she put the tights that the mommy bear put out for her. And those tights were the ones that match, but she found a hole inside them. Right? She doesn't like with the holes, so it was like a pin-size hole, so she threw it out. Okay, so then comes, already it was on Shabbos and whatever, and now there was an issue because it was nisgala that she was wearing tights that do not match the outfit that she's wearing. Right? In my house, that's illegal. Right? And now the shaila is what to do. So now, So the great Rebbitzin said, what's going on here? Where are the tights? And so she said, they're no longer. They are no longer. They're no longer. Where are they? They're no longer. They're in the garbage. And they made it all the way from her garbage to the garbage with the gazazachin in it. But Lamaisa, it seems to be they were there and they were salvageable. And so I started to wonder, let's see if they have a hole and they were thrown out on Erev Shabbos. Now, I came into the story in the middle. Already the felon that threw out the tights was underaged minor who doesn't have the das to be kudveya a bittul kli, mistama. So I came in the middle of the story, but let's start, mistama, that won't be enough to make something muksa. Let's down the shaila, what would be if, let's say on Erev Shabbos, my wife saw that the tights have a hole in them, and she would say, that this kind of Zion, this can't be, right? So then, and she would throw them out, and then it would be nisgalit to her later on Shabbos, that kumtais, she doesn't have tights that match, and she wants to take those tights out of the garbage and to go and put them on. That would be the shot. Now again, I was donning the shaila without this knowledge. In the middle, I realized that anyways, it was the daughter that did it. She's about 6 years old. She doesn't have that koyach to be kaveya, kalim, etc. You could don. It could be if my wife makes her, gives her a right to do such things, it gives her a right to throw out her own tights or something like this. Maybe she is the one that has the ability to throw it out and consider it not to be, you could don, but in this case, she clearly didn't have rishos. So now we're dealing with a pair of tights that, the little thumb toe could come through, right? And a lot of girls in Yerushalayim, which again, right? Oh, you're going out to check? Good. So tell us what you find, right? A lot of girls in Yerushalayim are walking. I don't know if this is what goes on in the Haim, in Flatbush, what goes on there. If they have a little hole in their stomach, it doesn't last very long. The Haim where I come from, I don't think it lasts very long. But in Yerushalayim, it lasts. And you actually are moirish down to the next daughter, and then the next one, and then the grandchildren. So, it lasts. It lasts. But there's just a certain threshold. There comes a point where you say just ginik shoyin and you throw it out. And each person has his own ginik shoyin at what point he throws it out. So, when do you throw it out? That's the shayla. So let's make a little bit of a sikum, and then we'll come to this shayla. We saw the rules of shivrei kalim. If you throw something out on Erev Shabbos, so then we saw a shever kli. If you have a broken kli and you throw it out on Erev Shabbos, then she's muksa, right? We saw that, for example, whatever examples that the Paiskim had, our world is a little bit of a different world. But if you have a broken plate, okay, make an easy case. You have a broken plate, and we'll talk about chipped plates and things like that. But you have a chipped plate, and it's chipped, a nice chip, not a little bat, let's say, but it's a nice chip. But it's still, you could theoretically use the plate, right? That's a good example of what we're going to talk about today. You have a plate that gets chipped, and it's chipped in a way with like a crack there, and let's say cracked off in a way where nobody would have to try to glue it back on, especially let's say it's a hard plastic plate or something like that. So you throw it out. Could it be used? Sometimes you have those hard plastic cups, the reusable hard plastic cups. And there's a piece on the top that cracks off. Can it be used as a cup? Of course it could still be used as a cup, right? Go to I don't want to always get you in trouble, but, okay, go to Rabbi Shtender's Tira, and you'll see what I'm talking about, right? Because, regular plastic. Okay, but there's a lot of diras in place. It's usable for sure. But the second you throw her into the garbage, even though it's usable, if you threw her out on Erev Shabbos, that's a good example. If you threw her out on Erev Shabbos, she's muksa. Then we saw another rule, even if she's usable, but everybody throws it out. And I think that crack in the cup that I just described, in the hard plastic, I think everybody throws it out. Am I right? I think everybody throws it out. I don't think even if you do Anish Yisrael, I think everybody throws it out. Again, it's usable. It still has a receptacle. It could still hold the juice and whatever. But I think everybody throws it out. So therefore, even if it happens on Shabbos, we saw if it happens on Erev Shabbos and you throw it out, that's already Mavatal the Shem Kli and she's Muksa. Then we saw that if it happens on Shabbos and it's the derech of everybody to throw it out, so then nothing can help you over here. If it's a derech of everybody throw you out, Mishabur says in Sivkot Nun Aleph that is considered a bittul of the shem kli once it happens. So therefore, that's my good example. The case of the plastic cup where a piece gets chipped off, and a nice piece. I don't know, a tiny piece you could done, but a nice piece. Then even on Shabbos, it would be muksa immediately because everybody throws it out. Agam, it's roi l'malacha rishayna. Good. That's number 2. Then we saw, okay, if it's not roy at all, then for sure it's muksa. That we saw number 3. Okay. Now, what if it's a kli shalom? So we started to see, what if it's a kli shalom? The Biur Halacha brings in Siv Zayin, and it's basically based on what it says in Kemat and Shulchan Aruch. Mishabur also in Nun Aleph, I mentioned before Nun Aleph. Mishabur in Nun Aleph says, Ube machatzeles shalema, right? Machatzeles shalema, if it's a full kli, you have an old carpet, which is a full carpet, a shalom carpet, nothing happened to this carpet. You decide on Shabbos to throw it out. You throw it in the garbage. Says Mishabur, Afilu zarkin la'ashpa muter, but l'daita yetzel kolada. Das is but l'daita yetzel kolada. You can clear. What happens? I threw out the full carpet on Shabbos. It could be you don't have to come on to but l'daita yetzel kolada. In other words, I threw a full carpet, a full shirt on Erev Shabbos. So then you have to come on and say, you know why it's not muksa? It's not muksa. You know why? Because batla daita it's a kolada. Because you can't say it doesn't have a shem kli when there are people in the world that still consider it to be a shem kli. I know there are people that throw it out. I don't care that there are people who throw it out. But there are people in the world that certainly consider it still a kli. No one would say he's not wearing a shirt, right? They wouldn't say he's not wearing a shirt. They would say that shirt needs to go in the garbage, right? But they wouldn't say he's not wearing a shirt. He's wearing a shirt. That's the lumdus over here. That's if you throw something out on Erev Shabbos. He's still wearing a shirt. You don't have a right to say it's not a shirt. It's still called a shirt. You can't say it's but l'daita yetzel kolada. On Shabbos Elaine, you could declare that you don't even have to come on to that. If I take a shirt and throw it out on Shabbos, it could be it's not muksa because it's just pasha not muksa. You maybe don't have the ability to the shame kli as of when Shabbos started. There was a shame kli and absolutely nothing happened. So who says throwing into garbage is going to take away the shame kli? You understand? It could be I don't even need to come on to some fancy lumdis like Butler Daite to Koladin. This might make an nafkamina of this. I'm not sure yet, but it might make an nafkamina. If I throw something out on Erev Shabbos, it's a shirt, and you agree it's a shirt, and everybody around you agrees it's a shirt, so then you have no ability to come and say it's not a shirt. Okay, on Shabbos, I throw it out. It could be, there's no conversation. Of course it's not muksa. Why is it not muksa? Because it's not muksa. That's it. That's the reason why it's not muksa, because it started out a Hashem kli, and nothing changed. Listen well, because there's going to be the nafkamina of a lot of things that we're going to talk about. Okay, now going back to going back to the tights. So let's see. What are tights that have a little hole in them? Well, I just showed you, right? He went out to check, so I know he didn't come back yet. I hope he's all right. But I'm telling you, you take my word for it. You take my word for it. There's a lot of little cold toes walking around. Okay, there's a lot of holes inside the tight. Now, okay, sometimes it comes a point where, like, you can see all the little finger lach, right? And then it's a whole different story when you see, oh, then maybe, I don't know, maybe maybe it's no longer called the tights, it's called a sleeve. But I'm not, but at the point where it still serves as tights, and most people consider it tight, what is this? Is this a shever kli? Is that a shever kli? Meaning, there comes a point, Rabbi said, people wash the tights, even with a hole in them, and then they just use it, and then they use it until the point where it's no more, right? But what is that? Is that, what was, when the Paiskin spoke over here about a kli shalom that you threw out, with tights with a hole fall into it, I would have thought that the Agdara of a kli shalom doesn't mean, I'll prove it in this case, right? These were tights that, we're going to wear because they match the outfit, and we don't have a spare. Right. So what does that mean? That means these are tights, and that sometimes tights have holes in them. And that doesn't take away from the function of tights. To such an extent. Meaning, again, what's the difference between a cup that has a crack in it and a cup that has a crack in it is something that you could use. You could use the other side, and it's going to hold the liquid. You could use it, right? The tights is there's no shaykhis. Nobody does that. Since everybody throws her out, because everybody agrees it doesn't have a shame kli once it gets that type of crack. But I'm saying over here, what are you going to say? You're going to say that we'll get to if you threw it out in a moment. First, I want to don the item if it's called the shever kli. I don't even know if this is called the shever kli. I wonder out loud if this is called a kli shalom. That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if she's called a kli shalom because maybe a kli shalom is something that when people would still use it like this until there comes a point where they say, all right, forget it, I'll buy a new one.
Because you don't have another one.
Yeah.
It serves a purpose.
It's true. Exactly. In others, so it's slow. But a cup, even if I don't have another one, I throw it out. Right?
Socks. People wear socks with holes in it. But if they had another one, even if it gets very bad, they have another one.
They'll throw it out. Forget. So that's
Forget.
I agree. So therefore, I think that's the biggest raya that she's still called the kli shalom. The biggest raya that it's called the kli shalom is you will wear the sock with the hole or the tights with the hole until you get a substitute. And you're not going to say it's mashayim when it comes to a cup. You won't. Now, somebody aggressive is going to say, yeah, shkoyach, because today there's plastic cups, right? So Mela, it's not again. But let's say you wouldn't be with the plastic cup. Maybe you would keep that cup. I'm not sure if I have to care the reason why. I'm not sure. This is the mitzias. The mitzias is that when there's a cup with a crack in it or a china plate that has a nice chip that you can't fix and whatever. So then the mitzias is they throw it out. So then that's a shever kli, which is batla daite and duchule. If this premise is correct, now it's done. Let's go in order. The worst is when you throw something out on Erev Shabbos. Because when you throw something out on Erev Shabbos, then you're not shepherding with the same kli that was chal at the beginning of Shabbos. So let's say my wife would have thrown this out on Erev Shabbos. Now she did something which was to convey that this kli shalom is not a kli shalom anymore. She's holding by the point where she's misiaches to the lach. This is the type of lach already that we throw out. The mitzad sheni, that's just a decision that other people wouldn't have decided the same way, right? So I'm not sure. So do we now look at her? It's one of these very difficult cases because we can't say on this a bit ladaita because many people would throw it out. Many people would throw it out at this point. It's a sheni, and she did it Erev Shabbos. So maybe she took away the shame kli as of Erev Shabbos. Maybe because it's already done. It's a sheni that, I don't know, maybe it's a kli shalim gomer. And that if you throw out a kli shalim on Erev Shabbos, it is a batla daite to call them. You know why? Because since there are people that would say, what, she's not wearing tights? Everyone agrees she's wearing tights. She's wearing tights with a hole. So maybe that's called a kli shalim. I'm not that it would even be a kli shalim. And then nafkamina would be, on Shabbos, it's pashut by me that it wouldn't become muksa. Unless the hole is so big, it turns into a sleeve or whatever. But on Shabbos, then I'm for sure it's pashut by me, it's not muksa. You throw it out on Shabbos and you change your mind, that wouldn't bother me. Erev Shabbos is a little bit more difficult because maybe at that point your kaveya is a shever kli and we should misyaches to your das. I am noted that that's a kli shalim, something that you used last time and then you washed it and then you say, all right, forget it. The hole is taka. So it depends on the nusach. If you say, no, the hole is taka too big, or if you say, we have 40 other pairs. So what's the point of this? You have to know what the nusach is also. It's not so posh to me, but.
When she threw it out of Shabbos, she really knows there was nothing else with that. The other pair was not matched.
She would never have thrown it out. But they said that's a problem, and a raya to show, is that a raya to show it's a shever kli? Listen to me, let me explain to you my problem. Is that a raya that it's a shever kli that she would change her mind? Or is it a raya that it's a kli shalim? If it's a raya that it's a kli shalim, then it's always going to be mutter, even Erev Shabbos. This is a very important shayla. Or are you just proving to me that, no, it's a shever kli she wouldn't have thrown out, but it's a shever kli. If it's a shever kli, then we do look at her and we need to know what she would have done on Erev Shabbos. It's a very serious shayla. A shirt that gets a big ink stain, a shirt that gets a very big ink stain. So what? Who cares when? We'll see. Both ways, both cases, right? Both cases. A shirt that gets a very big stain on Erev Shabbos, a big ink stain. He goes to his closet, he sees the shirt has a huge ink stain, okay? And now we'll do both cases. He looks in the closet, he sees there was an ink stain and it never came out or something like that. So now he looks at the shirt and he says, oh, this is garbage. And everyone agrees, right? Everyone agrees that ink stain, you can't get out, then you try to wash it. Then he says, wait, why would I throw it out? I'll use it when I paint, or I'll use it when I what? Kaisel, for the kaisel, right? Or I'll use it for whatever, to change a tire, all the things in life that have value, the kaisel, tire, right? Yeah. So maybe that's, now on, so let's see, he threw it out. This is a very Yisaitistic shayla. What is that? Is that a kli shalim? Or is it a shever kli? Nafkamina, he threw it out of Shabbos. His wife says to him, why'd you do that? She sees in the garbage, like Friday night, she sees the shirt in the garbage. She says, why'd you do that? He says, what do you mean? Look at the stain. I can't wear it. He says, you could wear it to the kaisel, and you could wear it to change the tire, and all these things. He says, you're right. You're right. It's true, Taka. It's a bini yisera. It's Taka. Not in Kallus, but there's a bini yisera. Taka, you have a bini yisera. Wow, you're so smart. So Mamela, could he take it out of the garbage? So if the lumdis is that she's being megaldim, that's a kli shalim. That's a kli shalim because it's a whole function that people keep it around for. Or is she saying, no, it's a shever kli, taka, but it's a shever kli that has a totally different usage that you could use it for. Who says it's a shever kli? Well, no, and then if he did it Erev Shabbos, then that's it, game over, because shever kli that you threw out Erev Shabbos, that clarifies. Again, the rules are shever kli that you threw out Erev Shabbos, game over. Shever kli you threw out on Shabbos, depends if the velt would throw it out. Kli shalim, if you threw out ever, is never muksa. So what is this character? What's this creature? It's tremendous nafkamina. Tremendous nafkamina. I looked and I tried over here. It's a little bit hard. It's a little bit difficult to figure out. What? It's a little bit difficult. What did they mean when they said the word kli shalim? I know the tights case, just I keep coming back to. How could you tell me that yesterday she would wear these tights and then there's 20 other girls that wear these tights and that now she decided that it is shever kli and throw it out of Shabbos and therefore it's a shever kli? I think it might be called a kli shalim. Right? An ink stain is something that's true. Everybody throws it out, but everyone agrees it's a kli shalim with a color issue on it or whatever. Now I don't know how far to go with this because once you're going to say that, so then even if I have a shirt with a rip in it, I have a shirt that has a rip in it, a proper rip in it, right? He comes back, he has his kaisel, the shirt he ripped by the kaisel. Total ripped all the way down, this ripped shirt. Okay, so here he is, on Erev Shabbos, he took that shirt and he threw it in the garbage. His wife says to him, why'd you do that? Don't you know that the halacha is that you're allowed to use that shirt again to rice? You could rice kriya with that shirt again. So the next time, if you don't go to the kaisel for 30 days, you'll have the shirt to rice with, right? It's the same case. So that's a little bit harder. That's mamash a ripped kli. That everybody throws out. Nobody thinks of this shimush, Nobody thinks of this shimush. It's, what? It's not important value, right? It's not, yeah, it's definitely not important value.
I have a clean that now is damaged. Now, like, I can't sell it, but I can still use it for something. So it's about the usage.
Okay, so but that could still be a shever kli.
Right,
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to figure out over here. So I'm noita that like a ripped shirt is taka shever kli. I'm noita, it's a shever of a kli that has one specific function you could still do with that shirt. I'm noita that the tights, I'm noita like extremes over here. The ripped shirt, I'm noita is a shever kli, and it'll depend if you threw it out on Erev Shabbos or not. And the truth is, the ripped shirt, I think also there's a batla. Everybody throws it out, right? So that shirt would taka probably be muksa. A person gets a massive rip in his shirt on Shabbos. That's a big case. What happens? The person is standing there and somebody, pulls him like this for a second, and the whole shirt rips. A massive rip. That's why he's wearing muksa now, no? Because it's shever kli that everybody would throw out. What? Come again? Yeah, okay, so you can still wear it because it's muksa begufay computer, right? It's the real muksa shebegufay, right? What? Right, but Rav Moshe Feinstein told us, they would wear it in this matzav, they would for sure wear it till they get home. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's true. Yeah, Mistama, like that story with the key that we had, that the key broke off, that you would use it now to open up the door. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Just a moment. So I don't know. I just want to tell you what I'm noita. I'm noita that the tights case is mutter, and that she's a kli. I'm a little bit noita like that. And that therefore, even Erev Shabbos, it wouldn't make a problem. I'm noita that the ripped shirt is, yes, a problem. A proper rip. I don't mean just like whatever. A proper rip, I'm noita is, yeah, a problem. And, let's say ripped kriya, like that case, the case of the shirt for the kaisel, mamish ripped kriya. So that case, I'm noita that case is taka shever kli, and therefore, I'm meant for everybody to throw in the garbage. It's batla daite, and stama. Certainly, if you threw out Erev Shabbos, I'm noita that's going to be taka muksa. No, sometimes in the gay or you have like a stain that goes on the floor, and you have a shirt that Erev Shabbos, you threw out that shirt that had a rip. So you want to just take it out, and you just want to wipe the stain or something like that. The fidas, you can't. It's an evil muksa. It's a muksa machmas gufay. The middle case, the case of that massive ink stain on the shirt. So I'm a little bit noita. I'm a little bit noita that Shabbos for sure I'd probably be makel. Erev Shabbos, I'm a little bit noita that I'm noita a little bit that it's a kli shalom. A little bit noita that she's a kli shalom that just has a different function to it. I'm not 100% sure about this, but I am a little bit noita like that. The Maisa, what happened? We didn't do anything today. Oh my goodness, it's unbelievable. No, this is mamish unbelievable. Oh, wow, because we had microphone issues. Unbelievable. So let me just say one last thing. We didn't do anything. No, I got it. One of my sveikis is that, this is when I found out who threw it out, that the culprit was the little one. I didn't realize at that point. And then I said, wait, there might be a problem with muksa, because my wife said, go up and get the tights to take them out of the garbage. And she said, well, they're not in that garbage. That's when the whole story started unfolding. She said, no, the tights are there. So I said, wait, taking things out of garbage, that's where I come in. This is after I dealt with cigarette man over there, And I started, wait a minute, when was it? So somebody said, well, anyways, it's not clear when she threw it out. It could be she threw it out on Shabbos. I said, it might depend if it's Shabbos or not. And then I realized it was the child that threw it out, and then the whole story unfolded. But let's down again. Let's say it would be my wife, and she wasn't sure when she threw it out. But let's say you would say it's a shever kli. Okay, let's say it's a shever kli. Let's go with the malach. If it's a kli shalom, it's game over. Let's say it was to be a shever kli, which could be, there could be a hole which you say, whoa, that's too big, you already can get like 3 or 4 finger lach in there, So then it could be already that's too big, it's turning into like a sleeve, So let's say it's a shever kli. It's a shever kli. So a shever kli, let's see. A shever kli that you threw out Erev Shabbos, okay, that's for sure a problem. A shever kli of this nature This would be a good example. Remember when Moshe told us today we don't have Shivra Kalim? Because meaning we don't have that term of Shivra Kalim because every Shivra Kli is broken and thrown in the garbage and that's it. It's not so true. If you'd be totally stuck and a lady has to wear tights, so even if all 4 finger luck and even the 5th one, is coming out over there, but she'd be wearing tights and she would wear it. So it does me'ein malacha, right? And it's a Shivra Kli. So now you'd have to dan batla daita and things like that. Just a moment. Let me finish this, Jay. I'll answer it. You'd have to dan batla daita if everyone throws it out. Then let's say there are ladies that wouldn't. I don't know, just in order to get the shaila out, right? So now let's say this is our case. She threw out the tights. It's a type of a hole which is close to shever kli and not a kli shalim, because otherwise it's anyways mutter. And then now we're not sure if she threw it out before Shabbos or we're not sure if when did it get into the garbage? Did it get into the garbage on Shabbos or did it get into the garbage on Erev Shabbos? If it got into the garbage Erev Shabbos, checkmate. Because shever kli. If it got into the garbage on Shabbos, so now I'm telling you, wait, it's a shever kli that you'd have to dan. Not everybody throws out, assuming that would be the case. Not everybody throws out, which is, I'm asking not so much here, but let's say not everybody throws out. And it's, it's on Shabbos and it's roi l'me'ein malacha rishona because she can still wear it to cover her leg. Okay? So now what do I do when I have a suffix? So this is a very important bir. I'll be messiahing with this, but there's a bir halacha over here, very important. The bir halacha over here in Sif Zayin brings the Rabbeinu, Agadol, Rabbi Kiva Eger. Rabbi Kiva Eger says, if you have a suffix, if something got to an ashpa, no, you hear these shots, think like, where is it again? It's mamish again, right? You have a suffix if it got to the garbage on Erev Shabbos, or if it got to the garbage on Shabbos. So Rabbi Kiva Eger says a big suffix, very big suffix, right? And he says one zvar he wants to say to be machmir. Rabbi Kiva Eger says is that maybe it's a davar sheyesh lematir. But what do I mean a davar sheyesh lematir? Meaning even though we could say it's a suffix muksa lekula, and I can say, look, there's a chazaka that it happened as late as possible, right? So it happened on Shabbos, and if it happened on Shabbos, then it'll be a shever kli that was thrown out on Shabbos that still works. That'll be mutter, won't be muksa. I'll be able to take her out of the garbage. Says Rabbi Kiva Eger, but it's a davar sheyesh lematir. We have a cloud when it comes to steakers that if why get the heter? Why be seimich on the heter when what? When you could just wait till after Shabbos and it'll be mutter gomer. And Rabbi Kiva Eger is brought by the bir halacha, which would mean in our case, if we weren't sure, we would say wait till after Shabbos. Right? So this bir halacha is very important you say to remember in life. You know why? Because in this bir halacha you see not like something very famous that the Noidib Yehuda once said. The Noidib Yehuda said that we don't say davar sheyesh lematirim on something that there's a shimush achayzer that you could use over and over and over again. The only time we say davar sheyesh matirim is by that egg, something like that. That we say, why do you have to eat the egg? You're only eating it once. So when you eat it without any shilas. Eat it after Shabbos when there's no shilas at all. Why eat it when there's a shilah when you can eat it without a shilah? But the Noidib Yehuda said, but let's say you have like this Shabbos. Somebody, he goes to a hotel and he takes a chair and he puts the menorah on a chair. He takes a chair and he puts the menorah on a chair. No, and he puts the chair by the door and there it is, right? Friday night in the hotel or wherever. They take the chair, the goyim, they take off the menorah and they take that chair and they mix it with the other 500 chairs, So now, wait a minute. That chair, she was a bosses. When Shabbos came in, she was holding muksa, and you can't move that chair. Not l'tzarek gufa, not l'tzarek makam. So now that chair is muksa. So but that chair is now bottled to 500 other chairs. So you say it's bottled, right? It's bottled, no? So what's the answer? You say, wait, davar sheyesh matirim. Davar sheyesh matirim. Why use it b'yisr? You can use it better. Says the Noidib Yehuda, no. We don't say davar sheyesh matirim there. You know why? Because the Noidib Yehuda, when you have a chair, you could use it over and over again. It's only by something that I have a one-time usage that we say, why do it like that? Why? I'll tell you why, because I'm going to lose out, says the Noidib Yehuda, on this usage. It's only by an egg or by a food or by this that we tell you. Why do you have to eat it with a shilah when you can eat it, might say Shabbos, might say this, without any shilahs? So this bir halacha, so he says in the middle, you can use the chair. The bir halacha says not like that. The bir halacha and Rabbi Kiva Eger say not like that. They say, when you have a davar sheyesh matirim says, why get involved in the shaila, even if you're going to lose out on one of the usages? Does everybody understand what I am saying? Right? Clear? Everybody's clear? Clear. Okay. Tomorrow we'll continue. But I don't know what happened today. I don't know. Okay. We'll continue tomorrow. All right. Rabbi Fiskes, I called you. We'll talk. Rabbi Micha, your son sends regards. Kol Tov Danny. Kol Tov Rabbi Platzker. Kol Tov everybody. Kol Tov everybody. I always get nervous. He always tells me, "Are you sure?" You know, you get nervous. Like,